What's up, YouTube? Just wanted to do a video on my love and passion right now in life, and that is my record collection. As you can see, this is only a very small bit of it, and I'll take y'all around and show y'all what all I got right now and what all I'm doing. But I just wanted to kind of do an introduction with how all this kind of got started. I've had a real passion and love for music for a very long time. Ever since I was a young child, all I really did was listen to music. But one thing that I never was able to do was play music. In elementary school, I played the cello, played the recorder, played the drums when I was younger, and when I was in college, I took some piano classes, but I never really mastered anything or really followed through with anything. I just really didn't have, I guess at a younger age, that drive to want to play. I didn't understand the importance behind being able to play music, and I wish I really would have stuck with it, but unfortunately I never did. So for a long time I had a real emptiness in my life, and I really didn't know how to express my passion and love for music. My cousin, however, both of my cousins, really talented, gifted young men. One of them graduated from Shenandoah University with a major in jazz guitar. Really good guitar player. And the thing is, he taught me a lot about jazz, started introducing me to a lot of different various artists, such as Miles Davis, John Coltrane, people like that I never even heard of until a couple years ago. When I grew up, I didn't have a lot of white friends growing up. I was really raised with black families that were in my area. I mean, they were my moms and dads and brothers and sisters, and they accepted me just as like their son or brother or sister. And I grew up listening to a lot of black music, a lot of rap, a lot of hip hop, some soul here and there, a little bit, like Marvin Gaye, Luther Vandross, stuff like that I knew of. But my thing was rap and hip hop. Not really hip hop so much, but it was there. But I listened to a lot of rap. West Coast, gangster rap, East Coast. Then I started getting into breakdancing and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, I really always have just loved music. I mean, country, everything. But like I said, I really couldn't express myself with the music. So like I said, my cousin was telling me a lot about all these different artists. I got a lot of music from him, put it on my computer, and I used to just download masses and masses of music just all the time, anything and everything. So I started listening to some of this jazz, and Miles Davis just really like hit me like right here, like hard, like I couldn't get away from it. Like I was listening to the Kinda Blue album, and I do a lot of research online, so I was searching for different jazz albums that I should know or hear, or what's the best, or this or that, and Kinda Blue was recommended always. So I went ahead and I picked up one of the CDs at the Barnes & Noble by my job, started listening to it, and I was just blown away. I was just like, man. My mom played the trumpet when she was coming up, and she played the clarinet also, but I just could never play music. But I just loved this Miles Davis dude, and talked to my cousin about it. He told me about this book. It's called Miles. It's a book that he sat down with the author and just talked and told stories, and he told me to read that book, so I picked it up and I started reading it, and I started hearing about all these other names, you know, and all the people that he used to play with back in the day, and I started listening to their music, and I was getting into it. the thing is with me, like, I don't try to remember everything. I don't try to, like, hold everything in. I just take it for what it is. You know what I mean? So if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. I don't need to know the artist and when it came out and who's playing the bass and this and that. It's just like, that's a dope track. Like, that sounds really good to me. If it pleases my ear, I'll listen to it. So I started getting into it. Then my cousin, after he came home from college, my uncle's real old school, got a lot of old school stereo equipment from back in the 70s, and he listened to records all the time. I mean, Grateful Dead, you know, man, I'm blanking right now, like a whole bunch of just old rock albums, Jimi Hendrix, a lot of that old stuff, you know, and like I would go over to his house and he'd be in the basement jamming, and it'd just be like, I just couldn't get down with it. I was so like modern with technology and CDs and, you know, digital downloads and MP3s and iPods and the iPhone, which I'm recording this on. But I mean, this is a dope phone, don't get me wrong, but the thing is, it kind of took away things, and people talk about this, so I'm not going to ramble about that. The difference between digital and analog and all that. It's not what this is about, really. But so I started kind of going down there with my uncle, and it was just kind of dope. Like, he would tell me like how to position the records and, you know, what to do, and like so they won't get warped, and he would talk to me and stuff, but I just didn't get with it. But when my cousin came back from college, he got with my uncle, and my uncle gave him a turntable, and I actually sold. I was into recording and all that stuff. I had some friends that we were doing some rap stuff and everything, and I sold my cousin my monitors, my studio monitors and stuff, and he just had like this thing going. Like, he would go like with his friends and they would go pick up vinyl, and I was just like, man, that's just weird as shit. Like, what is it? You know what I mean? And then my supervisor at work is an audiophile. Like, he's real big into music, like big time. I mean, he's got B&W speakers, $1,000 speakers, you know what I mean? A couple grand in speakers, and his cables cost hundreds of dollars, and his amp and preamp and his stand alone was like $1,000, you know what I mean, just to put the stereo equipment on. And he just talked to me about music and started introducing me to other things, and he's real big into jazz. And I started watching documentaries on jazz and the blues and where music kind of came from and started, how hip-hop started, and the more and more I listened, I was like, man, that sounds familiar, like I've heard that before. You know what I mean? So I just got deeper and deeper into it, and then one day, a couple months ago this year, today is May the 14th, it was, let's see, when was that? It was early February, the beginning of this year, 2012. I was riding the train home from work, reading the paper. I was flipping through it, and I saw this thing on Gibson guitars, like there was some museum or something. I thought about my cousin, because I was going to tell him about it so he could go to it. And then I was looking through it a little bit more, and I saw this thing on records. And it was called Record, what was it? I got the thing right here. It's, damn. They don't say what it was. It was a record fair, basically. It was a record fair in D.C., where I work at. And it was at the Riot Act Comedy Theater in downtown D.C. And it was a record fair where you can come in and buy records. I've never been to nothing like this. I never purchased a record, nothing. But let me tell y'all something real quick, because I left this out. When I was about 15, I really wanted to DJ like bad as shit. Like, I wanted to be a DJ and scratch and do all that stuff. I actually drove up to New York with a friend. Went to down on Canal Street and picked me up 2 turntables, a mixer, and everything I needed. And I had about half a crate full of records. And I came home and I would play with them every once in a while. And I had some videos to kind of teach me. But like I said, I really didn't get into that. You know what I mean? I really wasn't gifted to play an instrument. And DJing is playing an instrument, basically. But I just couldn't get the mixing down. It was just too much for me. It just like took the enjoyment out of listening to the music for me. So I just want to put that out there. So I have had records before, but I sold all that stuff, got rid of it, and like years went by. And now I'm 27, so about 10 years or more went by since I had a record or anything. And when I first had them, I really didn't understand it. I was a kid. And the thing is, my parents were never big on music. My mom, she played in high school, but she doesn't listen to music. She doesn't listen to the radio. She doesn't put CDs in and listen to them. My dad, I really don't know my dad. My stepdad didn't listen to music, wasn't big into music. So nobody that I've been around has been into music rather than friends or people like that. Like immediate, like kind of family. Besides my cousins and stuff like that. But it is what it is. So I saw this record fair that was in D.C. and I was just like, man. I was like, that would be tight, you know what I mean? Spend some time with my cousin. Maybe I'll go pick up a record or something, you know what I mean? Because I was thinking about putting a high-end audio system together, and everybody that I was reading and seeing and watching was saying that, you know, vinyl records and the way that they sound, like, doesn't compare to anything else. CDs, tapes, 8 tracks, anything. I mean, vinyl is, like, the most purest, like, sounding of music, you know? So I was like, damn, I want to get a nice-ass turntable and just listen, you know what I mean? Put it on and just let it play. You know what I mean? Not scratching and mixing and doing all the... Like, I just want to put the record on and just enjoy it with some high-quality sounding equipment. So that was what I was set out to do. So the thing is, I called my cousin and I was like, look, man, I was like, there's this record fair in D.C. I was like, you want to go? And it was a couple weeks away. It was a week or two away. And, you know, we worked it all out to where we could both go. So we met up. And we went up there. We walk in. And we're early. Mind you, we're early. Because I was like, man, we got to get there early. Because we got to get, like, some good stuff. You know what I mean? So we get up there early. Like, before anybody else is supposed to be there, because the place doesn't open until like 10 and we get there at like 9:30. We're walking up, people's already in there, like everywhere. It was crazy. Like there was so many fucking people there. It was like nuts, and I was just overwhelmed. I mean, there was like hundreds of vendors and like I don't know how many thousands of records. It was just crazy. And I was just blown away, and I'm just looking, and this was after watching all these videos and reading about Miles Davis and all this stuff. So I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to get. You know what I mean? So walking around, and I see this vendor. He's from Richmond, and he had a lot of soul music. And soul music was really where I was at. And at this time, I was listening to Pandora a lot. I got Pandora 1, so I don't have no commercials or anything. And I was just listening to stuff. And I came across this cat, Donny Hathaway. That's who we're actually listening to right now. This is the album that we're listening to. I actually purchased this online because I was unable to find it. But anyways, and there's this song. It's on side 2. It's I Love You More Than You'll Ever Know. And when I heard that song come on Pandora, like I was all about Donny Hathaway for a long time, and I got introduced to a lot of other artists like Donny Hathaway. So I started listening to a lot of Pandora. So when I went to this record fair, I kind of knew what I wanted to get, and I was talking to my cousin. I'm like, man, what should I be looking for? You know what I mean? Because I wanted to get some nice stuff. I picked up about 7 records. 3 of them were Donny Hathaway records, I believe. I got a couple other things I really can't remember, even though this was back in February. But I got a Slave record by the dude, because the dude told me about this band called Slave. He was like, man, this joint is hot, man. He was like, you need to get this. He was like, this is real funky. You know what I mean? I wasn't really into the whole funk thing. I was really into more soul. But he was like, man, you need to check this out. So I picked that up. It was only a couple bucks. I got some Earth, Wind and Fire. I got a couple other records. I passed up a lot of good stuff that now I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I should have listened to this dude, man. Because he was really turning me on to some good stuff. But it's like, me, I don't trust nobody. So it's like I was just like going with what I knew. And that, I mean, you live and you learn, so it is what it is. But that day that I went to that record fair, it was February the 12th. That's when I bought my first record. Today is May 14th, and I have easily over 10,000 records, and I haven't bought no records in about a month. So I went to this fair. I bought like I said, it was like 7 records or something like that. Came home, got on eBay, and I just went crazy. Like I was just like looking for records. I ran across this dude that was actually in Virginia, and I got a hold of him. I emailed him. I was like, call me. I was like, let's talk. You know what I mean? So he calls me. He's like, yeah. He's like, I got about 17,000 records. I'm like, damn. I'm like, did you used to have like a record shop or that? He's like, nah. He's like, I just collect. And to me, I'm like, 17,000? Like, man, that's a lot of records, man. So I'm like, man, I was like, before I buy anything off your store, I was like, I wonder if I could just come by and take a look at what you got so I can kind of see and make sure that you ain't lying to me, you know what I mean? So he's like, yeah, come by. So I waited about a week or two. I went by, and this dude's house was crazy, man. Like, as soon as you walked in, I mean, he had these, and I didn't even know what they were at the time, the IKEA Expedit shelving units, and he had 3 of them completely lined up on this one wall, like wall to wall, like fit perfectly, and it was just like all these records, like completely filled up in sleeves and everything. Like I can remember it. At the time, I didn't know what it was. I just thought it was a bunch of records. But then we went down to the basement, and that's where all his stuff for sale was. And this dude had like shelves and shelves, and it was all organized by genre and by artists, and like it was crazy, man. And the dude, like, he knew I didn't know what I was talking about or anything, so he wasn't real interested about talking to me about stuff. You could just see it in his eyes. He was a real, I don't know, he was a Russian dude. He was just, I don't know, man. I really didn't, I don't know. At the time, I really liked the dude, you know what I mean? Because I was like, damn, I wish I had all this shit, you know what I mean? So I went home, got on his store, and just was like buying a bunch of stuff less than $5. I bought a couple things that were a little bit more, and then I ended up getting like 20-some records or something. I paid like $250. So I went by, I picked them up. The day I picked them up, though, I went and got 2 books, price guides, to kind of tell you what's good, what's bad, getting into collecting. Because I was figuring if I'm going to spend all this money on something, I should know like what it's worth. You know what I mean? Like, how much is this stuff worth? You know, is this stuff good or bad or what? So I got these 2 books, the Gold Mine record catalogs. I got both of them, the one for the albums and the other one for the 45s and all the American releases or whatever. And I started checking out all this stuff. I mean, I got Bob Marley, I got a bunch of stuff from this dude, like stuff that I was like into, like Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, some of this other stuff. But a lot of reggae stuff besides Bob Marley is not in those books. You can't find like no reggae. I got a couple old soul records, found those, and I was pretty much paying like what they were worth in near mint condition. And these records, they weren't really near mint condition. I was like kind of upset about that, you know what I mean? And I told the dude, he was like, bring them back. He was like, I'll give you your money back. I was like, no. I was like, it's a learning lesson, you know what I mean? I was like, but I would never fuck with you again. You know what I mean? He like lost me as a customer. I don't care how good his service and how much stuff he had or anything. The way he did, it's just, I was just not down with that. You know what I mean? Like charging me all that money. But it was cool. I learned my lesson. So what I started doing, I was just, you know, buying records everywhere, going to thrift shops and yard sales, garage sales, community sales. I had an ad on Craigslist that I put up that I buy records. People were just calling me, like, I was just getting tons of calls. I was buying, like, everything that I could buy, you know what I mean, at the time. And I just massed, like, it was crazy. Like, I was coming home with crates and crates and crates. I actually ran into this DJ. They used to DJ for 95.5 Turntable Chuck. Went out to his spot out in Maryland. And, I mean, this dude had an unbelievable collection. It was crazy, man. And I went through and handpicked all kinds of stuff from him, like new stuff, old stuff. Got a couple singles, some go-go, got everything. I met a lot of cool people doing this, man. A lot of older people, you know what I mean, that just wanted to kind of let things go. A lot of younger people that inherited their parents' or grandparents' collections that were just selling them for next to nothing. and I was just picking up anything and everything and just learning as I went on. And then I started cataloging my music, and that's where it got real difficult, because that's where I'm at now. Like, I stopped buying because I got, like I said, easily over 10,000 records. This right here, this shelf right here, there's only about 1,400 records on this shelf right here. And this stuff is all organized by genre, by artist. It's in my database that I've developed with 43 different categories in it. For each individual LP, there's 43 bits of information that I put in, ranging from artist name, the year of release, the label description, the label, everything. Hold on one second. I'm going to turn this track over, and we're going to listen to one of the, in my eyes, one of the greatest soul records of all time. This track right here. This jam right here is whoo! But anyways, so I've been organizing all my stuff right now, and that's really where I'm at. So kind of what I want to do right now is just take you around and show you everything that I kind of got going on that's right here in this room. And this is my little back room, kind of like my man cave, whatever you want to call it. But this room used to be like my office, and I had like my desk and all my stuff set up, and I used to do all kinds of stuff. But now it's just like records over here, records over there, and a little desk right here. You know, everything is records back here. This is the record room, but it's my little getaway. So I'm going to turn this up a little bit, and we're going to walk around the room, and I'm going to show y'all what I got going on. Let me move this down here, and I'm going to bring this light so it brightens up this room a little bit. That was a cassette. 2 cassettes that I got from a guy. I'll deal with that later. But, so these are my records. That's kind of flooding. So let me show you this right here. This is the event that I went to, and I actually picked this up. I went to a record shop, and this was laying on the floor, and I was like, man, can I get this? And they were like, yeah. So I looked around the record shop a little bit, and I was like, man, y'all ever get any records y'all don't want, y'all can't sell, whatever? And they were like, yeah, all the time. So I was like, and the dude turns around, and actually in that crate right there, it was completely full of records. Let me put this where this goes, because I just had this for the video, but we'll get to this later. We over here. So I came home, and it was 101 records. This crate was completely full, and then he had another crate that he gave me that was full of records. I just picked them up and rolled out. He didn't charge me nothing. I actually got these speakers right here from the DJ. These I don't know what, Dynalab or something, I don't know, but I got them for like $20 for the pair, so it wasn't bad. These acoustic research, these AR rock partners, they sound really nice. Now y'all want to know about these right here. I created this right here at work. Took a piece of paper, printed it out black, reversed out the letters, laminated it so it lasts pretty much forever, and just put all the different genres that I have. I got 23 different genres at the moment, but I'm gonna add one more. So it's printed on both sides, so no matter where I put it on the shelf, I mean, if it's, for instance, in the middle of these and I'm coming over here, I can see it. I can see it right here. So that's my own little thing. If y'all want some of those, hit me up, and I'll let y'all know how much that's gonna be, because trust me, it took some time to put all this together. But and I got it all in order, kind of alphabetically, A, B, C. Kind of may not be in perfect order because I moved a couple things around because I was running out of room. But this is my little blues section. It's all country music. This is my folk section. Holiday music. This is for later. I'll show you all that in a little bit. But that's a record store day merchandise right there that I found out about. But all this right here, this is all my jazz. This is all my R&B and soul right here. This right here is my compilation albums, like various artists with different everything on it. Then we got the rock right here. It's all rock. This is all popular music right here, and that a little bit. And this is rap and hip hop, reggae, international, and no, stage and screen. I'm sorry. This is stage and screen, and with like soundtracks or whatever. And this is musicals. And then over here, I got my classical section. This is underneath of my desk, so excuse all the wires. And I got electronic, different music, international world, instrumental, military type music like marching bands, all that kind of stuff, spoken word, anything that's vocal, whatever, religious music. Then I got my comedy section and my children music, and I put that right there so my kids ain't climbing up to get their stuff. But they got a nice little collection, just all kid music, Sesame Street, Mother Goose songs, all that. And then this box right here is just full of different stuff that I have, because I don't got no drawers no more to put my stuff, so all my stuff is in here. It's just a junk drawer. I put everything in there. All this music right here is uncatalogued. It's not cataloged yet. Whatever's playing always sits right there next to the turntable that I picked up for $65 on Craigslist from a dude. It's not in the best of shape, but it plays. It works wonderful. Dude wrote all over it and colored it with a Sharpie, so I gotta try to get rid of all of that stuff. I found something that I can remove it with, but it kind of took away this finish, so I kind of stopped because I don't want to go too far with it because I don't know what I'm gonna do. But and then I went to Guitar Center and got me a. Let's see if you can. Sure. Man, what is that? White Label or something like that? I can't remember. But so that's that. This receiver right here I picked up. This is a Donny AVR 3805, and I got it set up to where it shuts all down, so it's in pure direct mode, so it's like clean sound or whatever. And this is my little monitor, my keyboard, and all that. And then this is all electronic. My flash went off. I don't know why, but whatever. There's a tub under there that's all electronic equipment, wires and everything. So y'all might be wondering, I don't know if y'all saw all this, but you see these tabs. Alright, so how this works is I keep track of all my stuff, the date I bought it, and how much I paid for everything. So for instance, all these records right here, and it starts off with this right here. So you can see I bought these records on March 27, 2012. I bought 89 of them for $45, so it came out to like 51 cents per record. So that's all of these records up to this blue dot, this blue little piece of paper, and then that's where this collection starts. I got 160 for $30, 29 or 19 cents a copy, and I got. That's including all these little 45s right here. So I kind of grouped it all together, where the date I bought it, how much I paid for it, everything. And yes, there's more back here. So, by the way, I got 2 loads of stuff from Turntable Chuck. First load is starting right there, runs all the way there to that first blue dot behind there. There's a lot of old school hip hop right in here I picked up from a dude. Let's see what I get. 120 250 records at $120. So a lot of my stuff was purchased in March, as you can see. But so what I'm doing is from floor. This is another 5x5 unit, but I'm going all the way to the ceiling. These are all my cleaning supplies, my home little remedy that I use to clean the records with. That's my little thing for something else. My books and stuff. I don't got that set up because I got some more of these that I've already purchased, but the people are moving, so I'm waiting for them to move out. And then this is where I put my stuff. I don't know where I'm going to put that later. But I'm going to put another 1x5 right here. Run that up. And then so it's going to be 6x6 all the way across. That's my bike right there. So, and this, I've always had this for a long time. That's John Lennon and Tupac staring face to face like that. But as you can see, then that's that. Got the Beast by Dre. They back there. That's just the box, but so that's it. Right now, these are the records that I'm entering into the system, to my little catalog spreadsheet, whatever you want to call it. These records right here. This is the last little bit of a collection that I bought. This stuff right here is either missing the disc or missing the jacket, or an extra jacket or whatever. So that's just sitting there. And one little quick last thing is this right here. These are all my duplicates. This whole crate and that whole crate. It's full of just duplicates that I'm ready to get rid of, sell, whatever. But that's it. That's all I got right now. I'm gonna take y'all downstairs to the garage and let y'all see what else I got. But let me know what y'all think about, especially these things.